Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching. Yes, we did have time for a full video today, so we're going to be doing one. So we're going to be talking about the Inspired by Gibson range from Epiphone here. They released quite a few new things the past couple of days. So we're going to start with the basses because they were actually significantly harder to find on the website, and then we will look at the guitar. So you have a couple different price options. You have a Thunderbird 64 in looks like 3 different colors here. Inverse green, silver mist, and ember red. I think the prices are all the same. Let's find out. Yep, $849. You have a Rex Brown Thunderbird in ebony, and I feel like I should know who Rex Brown is. We can do a quick little search. Rex Brown. Pantera. Okay, basses from Pantera. Should have known that. Then we have a Thunderbird 60s bass in Tobacco Sunburst or Ebony. The Ebony is the same exact price. So all of these, to my knowledge, are pretty much constructed similar. You know, you got the neck-through mahogany wings there. You have mahogany wings, 9-ply mahogany walnut neck-through. 60s rounded bass. Just Epiphone electronics. CTS, which is always good. Got Pro Buckers. I think this is the same thing. Thunderbird, let's see. C profile. Going to be Indian Laurel on pretty much all of these, unfortunately. This is also Pro Bucker 760. Where I think, let's see what the name of this pickup is. Yep, Pro Bucker 760. And I'm actually curious if this also has the same thing. Epiphone Pro Bucker, Bass 760. Yeah, I don't know why this specifies Epiphone Pro Bucker. The only thing I can think of is that these two, it is a Gibson version of it. No, this does specify Epiphone Pro Bucker, and then let's see if this specifies as the Epiphone Pro Bucker as well. Yes, Epiphone. Thunderbird 64, vintage, let's see. Yeah, so none of these have the Gibson pickups. So if that's something that you're looking for in these basses, then you may want to look elsewhere. They do look pretty cool. I have a couple of Epiphone Thunderbirds, older ones myself. Gave you some cool color options. Prices for these aren't completely terrible. Let's see if it wants to let me go back. This, you know, obviously being a signature, you're going to have an upcharge, $1,300. It's a little pricey, essentially just for a fancy bridge, I would argue. I mean, yeah, you got some different pickup rings, maybe a couple different tuners on here, perhaps. Yeah, the tuners are a little different too, I think. So let's see here. Thunderbird, neck. Oh, you do have a brass nut, which is kind of neat. Hardware, everything is gold. Gold. Tuning machines, gold die cast. Mini clover buttons. Okay, so yeah, there's some differences there. It's going to be up to you if you decide, you know, if it's worth the huge price difference between the 60s bass for $750 and then this guy for $1,299. And then we are going to go to the guitars. So the only just for future reference, the only way I was able to actually find the basses, like if you go down here and you're just like basses, no, none of those are the Inspired by Gibson range. If you go up here, electric guitars, where's the basses? Nowhere does it say basses. Les Paul, blah, 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 designer, modern power player, blah, 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 artist collection. I had to actually scroll down this way. Maybe I'm missing something and find the Thunderbird 64 bass, and that's how I found that. But if we go to the electric guitar side of things that people are a lot more interested in, we have several new guitars in several different finishes. All are going to be expensive, and we will go over the reasons kind of where that's coming from. But you got some acoustics as well. Wish there was a hummingbird in here. I've been looking at some hummingbirds. But if you go back far enough, this is the stuff you've already seen. So these are probably going to get phased out right here. The 59 standard with the older style headstock now, or, you know, the kind of the modern Epiphone headstock. Same with the 61 Les Paul / SG. The Carina will probably stick around. All of these will probably stick around for a while. Carina, Explorers, Kurt Hammett. These will probably stick around. You know, you got the Greenie, the Adam Jones now, the Dave Grohl. Things we've gone over before. You got the Firebirds, which we've gone over before, and we're going to start with the new here. So we're going to start with the J200, and you know, you got natural here, and then we have a Taylor Swift guitar too. So I'm actually curious what the difference is. So this one is thermally aged solid Sitka spruce top, solid figured maple back and side. So there you go. Everything is solid, whereas the cheaper ones, you're going to have this, typically you have a solid top but laminate back and sides. So there you go. It's probably going to be a Laurel as well, yeah, because I feel like Epiphone's got to have a huge stack of Laurel or something going on, because they're just pounding out these Laurel fretboards. Then we have the J180 LS, and we have one in pink. So if you are a big Taylor Swift fan, you know, I don't think Gibson currently offers a signature Taylor Swift one, so Epiphone was like, yeah, we can make a pink one of those in pastel colors. This one, there is no natural color, so if you really like that, then sorry, not going to happen. Thermally aged solid spruce, top, star, mother of pearl inlays. To specify the sides, legendary artists like Everly Brothers, Cat Stevens. Let's see, body, jumbo, thermally aged spruce top, finished. Scalloped X bracing. Body material, okay, it does specify solid mahogany. So at the very least, in terms of acoustic guitars, I would say regardless of the price, I know I got to click back like 8 times because of the way their website is designed. They have solid builds, and then you have a J42 Banner, J45 Vintage Sunburst. That's the only color option you get there. Moving up to the what I like to think of is the cooler options. I mean, I like acoustics as much as the next guy, but I definitely prefer my electrics. So you have a 3-pickup SG Custom with a vibrola, and this thing is cool, but also like I played guitars with metal pickups, I played guitars with vibrolas, and I just don't really use them. I feel like I immediately felt that the pickup was in the way. You do get a nice case and everything with it. So the specs of this is pretty cool, and you're going to see why here. So at the binding, they call it a vintage original sheen. So basically it's like a semi-polished satin. I do not like the finishes on any of these. I want the high gloss. For the most part, I'm a high gloss person, and I do not like the fact that none of these are in a high gloss finish, minus like the Dave Grohl. So if we go to the neck, slim taper, Graphtec nut, glued in set neck, ebony fretboard. There you go. I do enjoy it. I'll take ebony over Laurel any day of the week, and a real mother of pearl block inlays, which is pretty cool. Hardware, you're going to get the Grovers. You get the 2-ply truss rod cover, all that typical stuff. That's funny. Tune-o-matic. That is not a tune-o-matic bridge. Oh, I guess they're calling this piece tune-o-matic. All right. Got the vibrola on there, dual action truss rod. And here's why this is extremely expensive. Because it has Gibson custom buckers in it. So yes, you still got the Switchcraft and the CTS, which is all fantastic. Gibson custom buckers are not cheap. And I mean, in terms of raw material, they're not terrible. I mean, it's literally, the pickups are literally just magnets and wires. That's all they are. That's all they're ever going to be. Sure, there's different configurations, like with the Fishmans and the EMGs and stuff like that. But it's wires, it's magnets. That is why there's such a wide range. The main reason these are so expensive, if you buy a pair of them new, which apparently are $269 per one, or you can buy the pair for $489. Looks like there's some that are $230 as well. But or you can get the gold for $500. But when you have 3 gold ones, $500 of this guitar, you could argue, is the pickups. So you get the ebony as well. You get the open book headstock. But if you were to purchase this guitar and rip the pickups out and sell them on the used market, you're probably going to get a minimum of $300 to $400. And if you don't like them, you can easily sell these and buy a replacement pickup. So, I mean, that is the plus side. Is a regular SG worth $1,000 outside of the pickups? Arguable, but that is what it is. Now, if we go to the standard real quick, I would like to show you the bridge on this and up close, because this is kind of a Gibson style bridge. This also comes with the Gibson custom buckers, but yet again, it's kind of that satin finish that I don't personally like. Price-wise, I also don't like it, but that's going to be all the same thing. The CDS spots, these are going to have the Laurel fretboard, so if you don't like that, that may be a deal breaker for you as well. What's weird to me is if you go over to the custom, which does not have custom buckers, by the way. It's a 490R, 498T. It's weird to me because they're kind of making the bridges more Gibson-like, but this one, they just didn't do it. So I'm not sure why on the custom they didn't do it. I also don't understand why this isn't arguably cheaper than the standard. I understand you got the binding and everything, but at the same time with the standard, you got the flame figuring and the custom buckers, where this has the set that is in like everything, the 490R, 498T set. And a set of these would probably set you back about $300. So by the looks of it here, let's see if we can, out of stock, sorry, $229 if you go to the Gibson website. So arguably, the better deal in terms of pickups, I would say, is the standard. I mean, yes, this is traditional. So, the 490R, 498T has been in the Gibson Les Paul Custom forever. They are great sounding pickups. Plus, you do get the ebony fretboard, which is I believe, on this one. I'll double check that. Let's go to neck. Yes, ebony. But if they did this same thing with the custom buckers in it, and then they made that bridge the Gibson style, more similar to the Gibson style like they do with the standard, I think they'd sell a little more of those. Maybe it was a cost-effective thing I could see, because they are the same exact price. But you would also think that a custom is more expensive than a standard, but for some reason it's not, which to me is kind of weird. And then the final one that you have here is the 59 ES 355. Sorry, not 35. 55. Does that mean this is completely semi-hollow? Okay. Also, is the 335 a thing? Gibson 335. Is that the one that's completely hollow? Let's see here. Maybe they're just calling it is the 355 bigger? Oh, you know what? The 355, that's right. That's got the fancy binding and more fancy appointments. All right, that makes more sense. This has also got the Gibson custom buckers in it. This is also, unfortunately, that satin-like finish as well. That kind of looks like a Lucille a little bit there in that finish. But pretty much everything's $1,300. But at the same time, you can get the Dave Grohl for the same price. Let's go back quite a few here. Yeah, if we scroll down, look at that. The Dave Grohl is somehow, the signature is the same price as the 355, which I guess arguably this is a 335, but it has the Gibson pickups, the Gibson burst buckers, Trinity Lopez headstock. You got, different, you got to do the top differently, you got to do the neck differently, you got to do the inlays differently. So I guess that's more dependent on what type of humbucker you like. Do you like Dave Grohl? Do you not like them? Then, go for the 355. Or if you do like them, maybe go for this one because it's got the shinier finish of the two. But, my biggest complaint is going to be price. Because even, a set of those pickups is, like I said, two of them is going to run you just under $500. So $500 of this price and this price, you could subtract and say, okay, $800 for an open book headstock with real mother of pearl inlays and a Gibson style bridge. Not terrible. And then you go to the SG, we'll say about $730 of that is pickups, arguably. So almost half the price of the guitar is just the pickups, which if you're looking at it from a retail expensive, a retail, that makes sense. But Gibson is not paying anywhere near that price to have those pickups made. Realistically, Gibson has probably got maximum $80 in a pickup. So, I would say, because, it also depends on the wire you're using. Obviously, you got to pay people for their time and labor and all of that stuff. But as I've said it before, I'll say it again. Making pickups, if you have the equipment to it, it does not cost you that much. Copper wire is not that expensive. Magnets are not that expensive. It's more of the equipment to make those things, to put all the pieces together, which Gibson has had for years at this point, so they're well paid off. But Yeah, I think some of these are going to sell really good. Some of them maybe not so much. As I said, I don't like the way they finish these whatsoever. I don't like how they're doing the satin. I prefer the high gloss. Maybe that is a slight cost-saving measure, or maybe it's something where, oh, if we make them kind of satin, you'll never mistake these for an actual Gibson if someone did that. But, I mean, there's other ways to tell that these aren't Gibsons. Obviously, a poly finish, you're going to immediately know, versus a nitro if you're trained. Same with the bridge styling, the pickup rings. You know, Epiphone uses kind of their own pickup rings as well. The truss rod, this is going to have the dual action adjust with an Allen key or hex wrench, whatever you want to call it, as well. So that's where the prices are. I mean, it sucks. They're definitely more on the high end range, I would say. You know, you go into mid range. I guess high end could be considered $3,000 maybe. So I would say they're definitely not doing low-end stuff with this range. They do offer the low-end stuff, though, so you can still pick it up if you want to. But at the same time, a lot of people see this, and they're like, well, why can't they just do the open book headstock on everything? Because realistically, I think if they put an open book headstock on a $500 guitar, I feel like a lot more people are going to pay $500 for a guitar versus paying $1,500 or $1,300 plus tax and shipping and all that as well. The acoustics, I might argue a little differently. I mean, yeah, they're still kind of pricey, but at the same time, everything is solid wood. So my own biggest kind of I don't like it is the Laurel on these things. You know, I'd rather take an ebony board over Laurel, but maybe Epiphone bought a crap ton of it when, you know, everything went down with the whole wood market with rosewood and everything, and maybe they're just burning it up. I really don't know. But I hope they don't do something where they release, like, this whole line has a rosewood fretboard finish and then upcharge you $200 because you can get a rosewood fretboard on very cheap guitars. Still, to this day, you can get rosewood on guitars that are sub $500. So that is what it is. But I'm not going to drag this out any longer. I appreciate those of you that have stayed with me. They're definitely cool, but at the same time, you know, unless I find one of these on the used market for a reasonable price, the only one of these so far that I would actually buy brand new is probably the Dave Grohl. Adam Jones, you know, I like Silver Burst, not enough to spend $1,500 on one. Same with the Greenie. I have guitars. I don't have guitars with those pickups, but I have guitars that look similar to the Greenie, so I don't really care. Yet again, you know, same with the Firebirds. The shape I do like because I have a couple of Thunderbird bases, but at the same time, it's not like I need to have that. And same with the Flying V's and Explorers. They're big, bulky. I'm more of a Les Paul guy. I'm leaning towards SGs lately, though. I've been playing a couple of SGs that I own lately. So, sorry for making this video almost 20 minutes long, but again, I appreciate those of you that stuck with it. Hit that subscribe button, follow, like, share, all that fun stuff. Comment as well, and let me know what you want to see for future guitar music-related videos. Schedule-wise, since I'm dragging this video out anyway, apparently. Tuesdays, Saturdays are the schedules for the full-time videos, and then I am going to attempt to do shorts pretty much every day that I'm not doing a full-length video. So Tuesdays, Saturdays, you got your full-length videos. Rest of the week, you're going to have a short, which is going to be a minute or less. And if I can't think of anything that day, then I probably just won't make a short. It is what it is. But you've been watching them. A lot of them have been getting 400-plus views, so we're going to keep doing them. Thank you for watching, as always, and have a good one.